Nothing needed right there, so forget we even talked about it.
Copy.
And Jack, FYI, on the ground, we see the purge complete. We're ready for the purge valve close whenever you guys are.
Airlock purge valves are now down and locked. EMU pre-breathe into pre-breathe clock restarted. GMT 1119.
1119. Thank you.
And you're looking at a view of NASA astronaut Chris Williams suited up in his space suit ahead of today's spacewalk. Our other spacewalker today is NASA astronaut Jessica Meir, who has previously completed 3 spacewalks. Prime for assisting today is NASA astronaut Jack Hathaway, as well as European Space Agency astronaut Sophie Adeneau. They recently stepped through procedures to install the MEDOX, or metal oxide canister, into both Meir and Williams' spacesuit. The MEDOX canister does remove excess carbon dioxide during spacewalks. And also on your screen there on the left, you see Roscosmos cosmonaut Sergei Kutsverchkov, who is the current Expedition 74 commander.
Houston, Airlock, 2 good manual leak checks. We're back into step 17 of 1.225. We're going to start pulling them off ETAs and put the tapers on them.
Copy that, Jack. We see the same. Back to step 17. Thank you, sir.
Okay, and then one other data piece to add. Chris has had quite a bit of trouble today moving his O2 actuator from off to press. He's been able to do it on his own, but we just want to give you a heads up that it's been sticky and it's been a little bit difficult for him to get it into that position. He's happy with it. We just want you guys to track it.
And copy that, Jack. Thanks for the added information right there. We'll track it down here as well.
And with those communications, the next procedures that NASA astronaut Jack Hathaway and European Space Agency astronaut Sophie Adino will help step through with the crew ahead of this spacewalk is getting their SAFERs installed. The SAFER is the simplified aid for EVA rescue and would be used in the unlikely event that an astronaut were to become untethered from the space station. The SAFER would allow the crew member to safely propel them back to the space station. Sometimes you may refer to it being called the space jetpack. So they're working together now to get those installed onto NASA astronaut Jessica Mears' spacesuit. And once the SAFERs are successfully installed, the astronauts will move through the equipment lock portion of the airlock into the crew lock section. Now coming into view is one of those SAFERs, or simplified aid for EVA rescue. Adino and Hathaway continuing to work together to install the SAFER onto NASA astronaut Jessica Mears' spacesuit. This will be her 4th spacewalk of her career. And again, the primary tasks for today's spacewalk are to prepare the 2A power channel for future installation of International Space Station rollout solar arrays. Once installed, these arrays will provide additional power for the orbiting laboratory. Additionally, swabs will be taken outside of the space station to test for possible microorganisms. Adeno and Hathaway continuing to work to install that safer to Jessica Meir's spacesuit. Earlier this morning, the crew worked through procedures to pre-breathe 100% oxygen in order to purge any excess nitrogen from their bodies, and then they completed their in-suit light exercise or IL activities. These movements help acclimate the body to the lower pressure of the spacesuit and purge excess nitrogen from their body slowly to avoid getting the bends or decompression sickness, similar to what divers on Earth can experience. Once Meir's Safer is successfully installed, she will be moved into the crew lock. Inside the crew lock currently, you see on the top of your screen there is the strut bag. The strut bag is about 8 feet long. It weighs over 300 pounds and contains the pieces of the mid struts and left lower strut, which will be assembled and installed during today's spacewalk. A portion of the mod kit has already previously been installed and built during a spacewalk last May by NASA astronauts Anne McClain and Nicole Ayers. And NASA astronaut Jessica Meir now being moved into that crew lock portion of the International Space Station by NASA astronaut Jack Hathaway, who you can see there on the bottom of your screen, as well as European Space Agency astronaut Sophie Adno a little further back. Once Meir is situated inside of the airlock, they'll work to install Chris Williams' safer.
And Jack, Houston on 1 on here. We're watching the Safer Dawn on here just to make sure that we're all in sync. We'd like you to verify the upper mounting pins on EV1 Safer. Make sure that they're fully in the groove and they're locked. And Jack, if you are talking to Houston, I cannot hear you.
Happy Houston, sorry about that. Just so we're on the same page, on the Safer, there's a pin at the top, alignment pin at the bottom, and the latch in the center. And you're asking us to check the alignment pin at the top on both sides to make sure it's seated in the rail.
Affirm, that's exactly what we're looking for. FYI, 50 seconds to a handover.
It worked.
Hathaway and Adno working to confirm that Meir's safer or simplified aid for EVA rescue is properly installed. Again, the safer would be utilized in the very unlikely event that a crew member were to become tethered from the International Space Station. If that were to occur, the safer would enable propulsion to safely get back to the space station. And we are in a brief handover between our satellite communication system. You're looking at a live view inside Mission Control Houston. The team is currently being led by Flight Director Deanna Trujillo, who you see on your screen, as well as Tracy Dyson, who will serve as our ground IV today, communicating with our spacewalkers once the spacewalk is underway. Today's Capcom, or capsule communicator, is Scott Sagatti, and he'll be primed for communicating with the crew inside the International Space Station. And a view back inside
And Airlock, we're back with you. Both Soph and I verified the alignment pins, both the top and bottom on the left and right side of Jessica Safer are properly seated in their tracks.
Copy that, Jack. Thanks for the check on that. Go to continue.
And
Okay, Jessica's in the airlock. We're moving to Chris is Safer.
Copy that. Moving over to Chris.
And with the confirmation that Mirror Safer is installed, Hathaway now is going to work to do the same to NASA astronaut Chris Williams' spacesuit. Again, this will be Williams' first spacewalk of his career. And we are in another handover period between our satellites here. It does appear that fellow flight director Greg Whitney is here in the room with us as well, just speaking with NASA Flight Director Deanna Trujillo, who is the lead during today's spacewalk. The main tasks of today's spacewalk are to prepare the 2A power channel for future installation of International Space Station rollout solar arrays, which will provide additional power for the orbiting lab. In addition to this, there will be an ongoing science experiment sampling of the outside of the International Space Station to test for possible microorganisms. And on your screen, you are seeing NASA astronaut Jack Hathaway on the left there, continuing to work to get the safer installed on NASA astronaut Chris Williams' spacesuit and then move him into the crew lock. Once both Mir and Williams are inside the crew lock, depressurization procedures will begin. And we are seeing both Williams and Mir inside the crew lock now. Mir is wearing the spacesuit with the red stripe, and Williams is wearing the unmarked spacesuit today. Will be the fourth spacewalk for Jessica Mir and the first for Chris Williams. And if you're just joining us this morning, we are continuing to bring you live coverage ahead of the start of a spacewalk outside the International Space Station, where NASA astronauts Jessica Mir and Chris Williams will exit the station's Quest airlock to prepare the 2A power channel for future installation of International Space Station rollout solar arrays. This will be the 278th spacewalk in support of space station assembly, maintenance, and upgrades, and the very first of 2026. This will be the fourth spacewalk for Mir and the first for Williams. The prime task for today's spacewalkers is to complete the build and installation of a mod kit that is partially built outside the space station following a May 1st spacewalk by NASA astronauts Anne McClain and Nicole Ayers. In addition to the mod kit build, swabs will be taken outside the International Space Station and tested for possible microorganisms as part of an ongoing science experiment.
Station, we are reviewing this config, and we'll verbalize it to you so follow along.
Sophie, back with you on here. You came in pretty broken. Can you repeat, please?
We are starting now the tethers config check of all of the tethers.
All right, copy that. We are following along in the procedure, Sophie. Thank you.
Copy. So to start with the airlock gearing extender, this is hooked to the big hook of the waste tether, which is to the right of Chris. This is gate closed, lock, black on black.
And we copy that, Sophie.
Airlock.
Both hooks on the airlock gearing extender are gate closed, locked, black on black. And I say both hooks because there is an extra weight tether for the airlock.
And copy that, Sophie. That's the expected config. Our recommendation at this point, we can get the rest of the tether calls later in the, once we do the depress on here, our recommendation to you is to continue on in step 66 of the pre-brief procedure.
We're just assisting them a few moves with the tethers, and we'll move very soon.
Copy that. Sounds great. Thanks for all the help, Sophie.
And those communications from the ground to European Space Agency astronaut Sophie Adeno, continuing to step through procedures. You heard some communications about configuring tethers to make sure everything is good to go before the crew steps outside of the International Space Station for today's spacewalk.
Now going to step 66.
Copy that. Following along.
One of the next major milestones that we are looking ahead to this morning, once the hatch is closed, is depressurization of the crew lock portion of the International Space Station, bringing it down to vacuum. And here in the room in Mission Control Houston, NASA Flight Director Deanna Trujillo is polling the team, go or no go, for today's spacewalk. And this is a view inside Mission Control Houston. Again, NASA Flight Director Deanna Trujillo is leading the team of flight controllers here in Houston. This view back inside the International Space Station with both Mir and Hathaway, today's spacewalkers, inside the crew log portion of the International Space Station. On the left of your screen is NASA astronaut Jack Hathaway, and on the right is European Space Agency astronaut Sophie Adeno. They've been primed for stepping through the procedures to get the crew suited up and ready to go for today's spacewalk. Next up, they'll be closing the hatch and depressurization will take place. And on the left of your screen, you also see the Expedition 74 Space Station Commander, Roscosmos cosmonaut Sergei Kutsverchkov. And Adeno and Hathaway now working to get the hatch closed. And Flight Director Diana Trujillo confirms the team here on the ground is go for today's spacewalk.
All right, EVs and Houston, this is Ivy in the airlock. Step 76, which is the emergency MPF is closed. And step 77, the Node 1 vacuum access port. Gamma cap is attached. And we're ready for you guys to do 78.
All right, Jack, thank you very much. Good job with all of that. We'll go ahead and take care of the next 3 steps and the procedure. Stand by. We'll let you know when we're ready for you to proceed.
Copy. We'll stand by for you and for Jessica and Chris. The pre-read timer we have right here is 2 hours, 2 minutes, so that looks good, and time of day is 12:07, just for your essay. Okay. Currently night for another 35 minutes or so.
And on your screen, you are seeing NASA astronaut Jack Hathaway on the left, as well as European Space Agency astronaut Sophie Adeno. The hatch is now closed to the crew airlock where NASA astronauts Jessica Meir and Chris Williams, today's spacewalkers, are currently located. Depressurization will soon occur, and once that is complete, once that portion of the space station is down to vacuum or 0 pounds per square inch, they'll have the go to open up the hatch of the Quest airlock and venture outside of the International Space Station to complete work to install and build a modification kit on the 2A power channel of the International Space Station.
All right. For everybody on here, we have step 80.1 complete. FYI, for the EV crew, you are now hot mic'd on space to ground 1, and you are go to pick up in step 81.
81 copies.
82 copies.
IV copies, and we got step 81 complete. So step 82, Chris, I'd like you on the UIA to check the depress pump power switch off.
Okay, depress pump power switch is coming on the UIA.
Sorry, Chris. Check that the depress pump power is off.
All right, depress pump power is off.
Okay, so the depress pump power is off, and the next step is to verify the depress pump enable LED is on.
Depress pump enable LED is on.
Okay, that sounds good, and now we're waiting for a Houston go to move into the crew lock depress cue card.
And Houston is go to move into the cue card. And stand by 1. Don't move into the cue card quite yet.
All right, I'm on the crew lock depress cue card, and Chris on the UIA, take the depress pump power switch to on.
Stand by 1 on cue card.
Stand by.
IV copy, standing by.
NASA astronaut Jack Hathaway continuing to lead NASA astronauts Jessica Meir and Chris Williams through procedures this morning ahead of depressurization. This morning, depressurization will occur in a 2-stage fashion. First, the crew lock will be taken down to 5 pounds per square inch of pressure, at which point depressurization will be paused to perform a systems check, and then depressurization will resume to get the crew lock all the way down to vacuum. Once at vacuum, Mir and Williams will conduct suit checks and communication checks with Mission Control Houston before they put their suits on internal battery power.
We're saying off just to differentiate in the suits, a little bit harder to hear.
Will do. I can definitely do that.
Thank you.
Airlock Houston, thanks for your patience right there. We just wanted to double check the depress pump status on here. We are now go to proceed to the Q card per step 84.
Lock copies. We're in step 84, and we're going to do the crew lock depress Q card. All right, Chris, on the UIA, switch the depress pump power switch to on.
Depress pump power switch is coming to on. Depress pump power switch has been switched to on.
Okay, I'm looking at my timer for the 10 seconds. Chris, now you can take the depress pump manual isolation valve to open and expect an alert tone.
Copy. Depress pump man ISO valve coming to open. It is open. Expect alert tone.
EV1 and EV2, monitor your suit P gauge to make sure it stays below 5.5.
V1 copies.
EV2.
And if you're just joining us this morning, we're continuing to bring you live coverage ahead of the start of a spacewalk today. This will be the first of 2026 and the 278th in support of space station assembly, maintenance, and upgrades. NASA astronauts Chris Williams and Jessica Mir are suited up and in...
My pressure is pegged at 5. My suit's very loud.
Yes. Hear the...
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you, Jessica.
Ivy can hear you as well. I understand that what did your suit P gauge say?
My suit P gauge is above 5.
And EV2, my suit P gauge is right at 5.
Keep monitoring. It says it should stay below 5.5. If it does get to 5.5, Chris, you can go ahead and stop the depress, and we'll check in with Houston.
Copy.
Again, NASA astronauts Chris Williams and Jessica Mir are inside the crew lock portion of the International Space Station that is currently undergoing depressurization, now at about 10.4 pounds per square inch. The crew lock will be taken down to 5 pounds per square inch of pressure.
Say again?
Holding steady at 5.
Copy, holding steady at 5. I'm also holding steady at 5 on my suit P gauge.
We copy.
And now that the crew lock is at 5 pounds per square inch of pressure, there will be a pause for depressurization checks and system checks. Once the crew lock does reach vacuum, Jessica Meir and Chris Williams will conduct suit checks and communication checks with Mission Control Houston before they put their suits on internal battery power, which will mark the official start of today's spacewalk.
All right, as we approach 6 PSI, you guys can expect an alert tone.
Give you 1 copy?
Give me 2 copies.
Pressure inside the crew lock approaching 7 pounds per square inch. Again, we will hold once 5 pounds per square inch of pressure is reached for systems checks. Crew lock pressure now at 6.5 pounds per square inch. As you can see on your screen, NASA astronaut Jack Hathaway and European Space Agency astronaut Sophie Adano continue to follow along, assisting Meir and Williams getting suited up and ready to go for today's spacewalk. Pressure inside the crew lock nearing in on 5 pounds per square inch. Again, we will pause once that pressure is 5 pounds per square inch for systems checks and communication checks.
All right, Chris, we still have a little bit to go. We're just decreasing through 300 millimeters now. When we get to 260, I'm going to have you take the pump isolation valve to close. So we're just a minute or two away from that.
EV2 copies and is standing by, still showing just under 5 on my CP gauge.
All right, Chris, take the depress pump manual isolation valve to close. You'll expect an alert tone.
EV2 depress pump man ISO valve is now closed.
All right, we're seeing crew lock pressure right around 260. So we're going to go into a leak check. So for both EV1 and EV2, take your display switch to status until you see leak check question mark and then a long yes. You'll follow the displayed instructions.
V1 has leak check and long yes.
V2 leak check and long yes.
And with the crew lock now at 5 pounds per square inch, those leak checks are underway.
EV1 leak check complete. Suit pressure 4.8. Set oxygen actuator to EVA.
And EV2 leak check complete. Suit G 4.7 and setting oxygen to EVA.
Okay, that's great news, guys. And just let me know that you both do indeed have your O2 actuator and EVA.
EV1 in work.
And we did hear confirmation of 2 good suit leak checks.
In work for EV2. And EV2 is in EVA.
Copy, EV2 is in EVA.
In work for EV1.
IV copy.
And as system checks continue, you are hearing some communications between
Option actuator false.
Sorry, we didn't quite copy that, EV1.
I have an oxygen actuator fault currently.
Oxygen actuator false.
Yeah, I'm back in press now. And it's getting a little bit stuck on EVA, still working on it.
Are you saying you saw an oxygen actuator fault on your DCM, or you're just having trouble moving it to EVA?
No, I did have an oxygen actuator fault, but I think that was just because it was stuck in between positions for a certain length of time. I am now in EVA.
Okay, copy. EV1 is in EVA. From IV, we just want to double check with you before we move on that you guys are happy with that configuration.
Airlock Houston, copy the calls right there. We are good with the config. Go to proceed.
Airlock copies. All right, Chris, on the UIA, take the depress pump manual isolation valve to open. You'll get an alert tone.
The depress pump man ISO valve is coming to open. Depress pump man ISO valve is open.
And Sophie's going to check the emergency MPEG to open out here.
and with confirmation of good leak checks and systems checks.
Monitor your CP gauge. Make sure it stays less than 5.5.
EV1 copies.
EV2 copies. We'll go.
Depressurization is continuing. Once we get down to 0 pounds per square inch, we'll be considered at vacuum. We'll get the go to open up the hatch. But just prior to that, suits will be turned on to internal battery power, which will mark the official start of today's spacewalk. Pressure inside the crew lock now 4.5 pounds per square inch. Now under 4 pounds of pressure per square inch inside the crew lock. Pressure inside the crew lock now approaching 2.75 pounds per square inch. NASA astronauts Jessica Meir and Chris Williams are isolated in the crew lock section of the Quest airlock in preparation for the start of the 278th spacewalk in support of space station maintenance, assembly, and upgrades.
EV2 showing Airlock P1.9 on my DCM.
EV2 from Airlock, we're seeing about 2 psi out here, so you can take the depress pump manual isolation valve to close.
EV2, depress pump man ISO valve is closed.
Copy that, and on the UIA, switch the depress pump power to off.
All right, on the UIA, depress pump power is coming to off OFF.
Copy OFF. And it's been great seeing you guys up out there. Good luck out there. Take care of business, and we will pass you over to Ground IV in Houston.
Thank you, Jack. Thank you, Sophie. Hello, Houston.
Hey, Jessica, Chris. Great to hear your voice. Jack, Sophie, nice work. Thanks a lot. We are ready for your initial tether config when you're ready.
All right, TC, it's great to hear your voice as well. I will give you our setup. I will start with my right D-ring extender. I see my red hook is on my right D-ring extender, gate closed and sliders locked. My waist tether is also gate closed, slider locked on that same right D-ring extender. The large hook of my waist tether is just on my mini workstation, as is my anchor hook. And I'm looking at my green rail. It is currently unlocked. I can see my yellow. I can see EV2s. Okay. I can see my yellow hook is on the green reel. That's gate closed and sliders locked. You can see my red reel is unlocked. It has the green hook on it, which is unlocked. It also has Chris's anchor hook, which is locked. And that's also on my red reel, as mentioned. I can see the extra waist tether that we have on the Airlock D-ring extender. Gate closed, sliders locked. The big end is just freely floating. And then I see Chris's waist tether. I believe that is his right waist tether.
Stay firm.
And it is gate closed, sliders locked. You can actually see it all the way to him.
Hand over.
It is on his right D-ring.
And we are in a handover between our satellites currently, but will regain communication and video of the crew here shortly. You did hear communications with NASA astronaut Jessica Meir and Chris Williams as they work with the ground to make sure that all of their tethers are configured as they should be before they step outside the space station to begin today's spacewalk.
The green reel is unlocked. On my green reel, I have my yellow hook, gate closed, black on black, locked. And on my red reel, I have my green hook, which is unlocked. My red reel is unlocked, and that goes to my right D-ring extender with the red hook, black on black, as Jessica called. On my left, on my mini workstation, I have my left waist tether, which goes to my left D-ring extender. The small hook for that is gate closed, locked, black on black.
Okay, you guys, I walked you right into a handover. So we caught most of the tether config, and I'm missing just a few checks. Let's start with you, Chris. It's mostly on you, Chris. Your the waist tether that you have to the Airlock D-ring extender to your right D-ring extender. Make sure you got that hook closed and locked.
Copy. I think Jessica can see that one.
Yep, I reported both of those. It is closed and locked on his right D-ring extender and closed and locked on the Airlock D-ring extender.
Okay, well, we didn't miss too much, evidently, so you guys got a great tether config.
EV1 copies.
EV2 copies.
And now closing in on 1 pound per square inch of pressure inside the crew lock.
On the depress Q card, when crew lock DPDT is about 0, you can expect a learn tone. I don't know if you got one yet.
Negative. No alert tone.
Yep, EV2 negative.
I haven't received any of the expected alert tones.
Okay, guys, we're going to hold here while we're waiting for the pressure to keep coming down. And as we pause, I'll come back to you for hatch ops.
EV1.
EV2.
And as we await pressure to reach 0 pounds per square inch or vacuum, you are hearing communications where the crew is mentioning EV1 and EV2. EV1 this morning is NASA astronaut Jessica Meir. She'll be wearing the spacesuit with the red stripes. EV2 is NASA astronaut Chris Williams, and you'll be able to identify him because he will be in the unmarked spacesuit once we get views of them after they egress the hatch. For Meir, this is the 4th spacewalk of her career, and for Williams, this will be the very first of his career. And back inside the International Space Station, on your left, you do see European Space Agency astronaut Sophie Adenau. And on the right, NASA astronaut Jack Hathaway. They have been primed to get the crew suited up and step through procedures this morning ahead of the start of today's spacewalk. Once pressure inside of the crew lock reaches 0 pounds per square inch, some system checks will occur, and then the spacesuits will be switched onto battery power, which will mark the official start of today's spacewalk. Pressure inside the crew lock now less than 1 pound per square inch, 0.93 pounds per square inch currently. And if you're just joining us this morning, we are nearing the start of today's Spacewalk, U.S. Spacewalk 94, where NASA astronauts Jessica Meir and Chris Williams will exit the station's Quest airlock to prepare the 2A power channel for future installation of International Space Station rollout solar arrays. Once installed, the array will provide additional battery power for the orbital lab, including critical support of its safe and controlled deorbit. Today, NASA astronaut Jessica Meir will serve as Spacewalk Crew Member 1, or EV1, and will wear a suit with red stripes, while NASA astronaut Chris Williams will serve as Spacewalk Crew Member 2 and will wear the unmarked spacesuit. This will be the fourth spacewalk for Meir and the first for Williams.
About 0.6 on the hatch pressure gauge. Copy.
Copy that, Jessica. Thank you. We're still standing by.
Copy.
And as you just heard, the crew lock is continuing to depress down to 0, currently at 0.55 pounds per square inch, so getting closer. Once at vacuum, the crew will get the go to switch their spacesuits to battery power, which will mark the start of today's spacewalk.
All right, Jessica, big moment. Your suit data is nominal, both of you, and we are showing 0.5 PSI on the hatch. You verified for us 0.6 on the hatch gauge. You have a go to open and stow the EV hatch.
Okay, copy. Go to open and stow the hatch.
And you did just hear that communication that the crew has the go to stow the hatch.
Nicely done, Jessica.
Okay, hatch is open. And we're in the hatch keep.
Well done. Well done.
I can see the light.
Excellent. Okay, for Jack in the airlock, you can put step 15 into work, emergency MPEV to closed.
In work? complete.
Thank you, Sophie. All right, guys, that puts us in the post-depress portion of the cue card. Now, before I have you switch those, I want to have you, Jessica, we heard you mention your alert tones that you weren't getting them. And so after this step, if you could for us, verify that you get the warning tone.
Okay, copy.
So with that, on your DCM, switch power to bat, stagger your switch those, and expect the warning tone.
Okay, copy. EV1 is going power to bat. Power to bat, and I do have my power restart message, the tone.
EV2 is switching power to bat.
Okay, I copy you both are in that, and you got the tone, Jessica?
Apron.
Awesome. Okay.
And EV2 also has a CP high that I just proed.
Same expected CP high message.
Those are expected. You can pro, and in fact, that's the next step to switch your display to pro to verify a functional display.
EV1 functional.
EV2 functional.
Excellent. Okay, Chris, for you on the UIA, you can switch power EV1 to 2 switches to off.
Copy, in work, power EV1 and EV2 coming to off. EV1 off, EV2 off.
And check power EV1 to LEDs, 4 of them are off.
All 4 LEDs, EV1 and EV2 power, are off.
All right, switching to your DCMs, you can now disconnect your SCU from your DCMs, install the DCM cover, and stow your SCU in the pouch.
EV1 copies in work.
EV2 copies in work.
EV1 demated.
EV2 demated.
And with suits now on internal battery power, the next major milestone that we are looking ahead towards is seeing the hatch open. You do see on your screen there that circular structure. That is the space station hatch that we will see open here shortly.
And I have my DCM cover in place.
EV2 has SCU in the pouch and DCM cover in place.
All right, well done, guys. For you, Chris, you can check that the depress pump man ISO valve is closed.
Pump man ISO valve is closed.
All right, on your DCMs, take your temp control valve to max hot.
In work.
In work.
EV1 max hot.
EV2 max hot.
Switch water on.
EV1 water on.
EV2 water on.
All right, check DCM blank, bite off.
EV1 DCM blank, bite off.
EV2 DCM blank, bite off.
Okay, you can set your temp control valve as desired and report your setting to me.
EV1 copies.
EV2 copies in work.
EV1's currently at 8.
EV2 has TCV set to 6.
Copy. EV1 is at 8, EV2 is at 6, and if you will, report all subsequent TCV changes to me as we go along, and then report your suit key gauge.
EV1 suit key gauge is 4.2.
The EV2 suit key gauge 4.4.
Copy 4.2 and 4.4, EV1, EV2. All right, you guys, we are just about there. You're right smack in the middle of a day pass. Your visor's set as required. Step 14 is not required. We will need from our suit IVs, step 15. Never mind, suit IVs. We're going to do that from the ground.
And TC, I've actually brought my TCV down to a setting of 6 right now. I'm going to leave it there.
Copy that. 6 for EV1. Okay, Jessica, Chris, we are ready to step into our timeline. You ready?
V1's ready.
EV2, ready to go.
You sound ready. Okay, Jessica, you can open the hatch thermal cover and release the hook from the magnetic plate D-ring. You'll attach that hook to the stowage tether point there on the thermal cover, and then cinch the strap until it's snug, and we expect 6 lines visible. If you'll confirm that for me when you're done.
Okay, copy. And the hatch, the thermal cover was open, of course, still held on by the hook. And I'm putting that into the stowage location now. The stowage location, and I see 6 lines.
Perfect, 6 lines.
Thermal cover is open.
Excellent. You have a go to egress, and as you come out, if you can, when you're able, turn on your HECA.
And as you can see on your screen, the thermal hatch cover is now open. Today's spacewalk officially began at 7:52 a.m. Central Time this morning, the 278th in support of space station assembly, maintenance, and upgrades.
Copy. And when you come out, you are taking your anchor to airlock handrail 0554.
EV1 copies. I have that in sight.
Just jamming. Okay, check for me. Gate closed, hook lock.
Okay. No, I don't have it on yet. It didn't work.
And first out of the hatch today is NASA astronaut Jessica Meir, completing the 4th spacewalk of her career. You'll be able to identify her throughout today because she's wearing the spacesuit with the red stripes, as you can see on your screen.
Okay, I have my anchor hook on the port D-ring of 554, gate closed and slider left.
Copy. You can work on EV2 anchor, and that will be to the aft airlock external D-ring.
And work. Okay, I have EV2's anchor hook on the aft D-ring of the airlock, gate closed and slider locked.
Well done. You can reposition yourself, Jessica, to the forward side of the crew lock and get ready for the strut bag handoff. And when you're ready, you can give Chris the go to release his waist tether from the airlock D-ring extender.
Okay, I am moving to the forward side of the airlock. Set the waist tether down. Chris, you have a go to remove your waist tether anytime you like.
Copy that. My waist tether is removed from the airlock D-ring extender.
Okay, Chris, you can start passing out the strut bag when Jessica's ready. I'm going to let you two coordinate that. If you need any reminders, let me know. And before we get to the next bag, I'll be checking with you, Jessica, to make sure we have the bag in the expected orientation.
EV1 copies.
EV2 copies. I'm ready to pass it when you are, Jessica.
Okay, stand by. I'm going to get my ret out.
Copy all.
And next up, NASA astronaut Chris Williams, still inside the hatch, is going to pass the strut bag to Mir. The strut bag is about 8 feet long and weighs over 300 pounds and contains the mid struts and the left lower strut that will be assembled and installed during today's spacewalk.
Okay, Chris, I'm ready for you to pass out the bag.
Okay. Strut bag is coming down.
Okay, and if you can pause right there.
Holding.
A little bit further, actually.
Copy. I see your ret.
Okay, I've got my BRT ret on it.
Okay. I hear you have your ret on it. I am going to take the airlock ret and remove it from strut bag.
Copy.
Airlock ret is removed from the strut bag. That airlock ret has been reattached to the airlock gearing extender.
Okay, copy.
And I copy as well. Nice work, you guys.
Chris, it's going to take me a few minutes to get this situated.
Yep, copy all. Need to untangle a ret from my wire ties on my BOT, so I will be there in 1 second.
All right, you guys take your time.
You see, I've got the adjustable that was on the handrail of the strut bag on the bag on my Windy workstation now as well. And I'm going to work on getting this in a acceptable orientation on my BRT.
Excellent. And just a reminder, the tape goes toward your head.
Copy, I've got the tape toward my head.
And if you're just joining us this morning, we now are over 11 minutes into the first spacewalk of 2026, the 278th in support of space station assembly, maintenance, and upgrades. On your screen, you see one of our spacewalkers, NASA astronaut Jessica Meir, who has egressed the airlock this morning and is working to get the strut bag, that 8-foot-long bag you see on your screen, configured. Still inside the airlock, but soon to exit, is NASA astronaut Chris Williams. This is Meir's fourth spacewalk and the first for Williams. The duo will work together today to prepare the 2A power channel for future installation of International Space Station rollout solar arrays. Once installed, these arrays will provide additional power for the orbiting lab.
Okay. Chris, I'm on the forward side, and I've got the strut bag.
Copy.
I think how I like it for now.
Copy.
And I see the cable bag coming out.
Okay.
Okay, stand by right there.
Copy. It's a good location for me to take the red off, too.
Okay, and I'm following along, you guys. I heard what you said, Jessica, about the strut bag, and I assume you got your mini workstation red to the non-taped end of the handrail.
Negative, I decided to use my BRT ret there, so I have my BRT ret on the non-taped side.
Yeah.
I have my BRT on the handrail, and I have the adjustable on the taped side.
That's right. You did say BRT. I got it written down. Okay, we got all your checks, and I see you passing out the cable bag. And do you need any words on this? You guys got the choreography?
Got a ret on the cable. I think we got it.
All right, you got a red on it?
Chris, I have a ret on it.
Okay, I am just grabbing it for a second to take this airlock ret off.
Okay, and I did use the
bag ret?
Yes, the bag ret that we talked about.
It's released from the airlock, and its ret is back on the airlock gearing extender.
Oh, copy.
And from this view of NASA astronaut Jessica Meir's helmet cam, we're getting a nice peek inside of the airlock where NASA astronaut Chris Williams is still, but soon will be exiting. They just worked to pass over the tether bag where all of the tethers and cables are located that will be utilized during today's space station spacewalk.
RET calls. Chris, just a heads up for you, when you come out, you'll be biased toward the aft side of the crew lock.
Copy that. Aft on egress.
And the bag's floating up a little bit, but I have a hand on it, so you can just hit it with your foot if it's in your way coming out.
Okay, copy that. I am ready to egress if you guys are ready for it.
We are totally ready for it.
Okay, I've got my visor down and I've got my Heka on.
I see you coming
Thanks,
out.
Chris.
And NASA astronaut about to exit the International Space Station for the very first spacewalk of his career.
And straighten up a little bit. I see your safer getting caught.
Safer's getting caught.
Yep, if you can get your legs a little bit straight down. There you go.
Here we are. Yep.
And I am right to your right, so you can go aft.
Copy. I'm going to go aft. Yep. I got caught on a Brett on my VRT off the airlock, so I am free now.
Copy.
And I am coming out.
Hey, like we talked about, go ahead and get comfortable.
Copy that. Yep. I'm just going to get Tether down. Awesome. Base tether on the airlock. Okay, and I got my defector down.
Okay. Would you like to go ahead and close the thermal cover before we transfer the bag?
Sounds like a great idea.
I can help you on this side.
Copy that. Get started. I can finish it off. I got it.
ATC, I see the thermal cover is closed.
Awesome.
Okay, I'm coming over towards you a little bit to receive the cable bag.
Strut bag's kind of
Yep, I see it.
has a lot of momentum.
Lock that out. Okay, I've got my DRT out.
And we are getting some spectacular views of the Earth from Jessica Meir's helmet cam. The International Space Station is currently flying 260 miles over Africa.
I'm going to take the cable bag.
Okay. You have positive control?
I have standby. I have positive control.
Okay.
And I've got a good BRT rep on the cable bag. And I'm just going to get this with the mid facing away.
And you might want to move the aft a bit again. My brother's right here.
Copy that. Yep. Coming aft. Just get this on my DRT. Okay, cable bag is on my BRT.
Okay, are you ready for me to release? Do you have a bet on it?
I have my BRT rep on the cable bag. Good connection.
Okay, you ready to receive the rep back?
I am ready to receive the back. I got it.
Here it comes.
Yep.
Just let it go. Yep.
Okay. Tether it back to the bag.
All right, guys. Nicely done. Nicely done. And I see that you got the lid oriented away from your body, all the proper checks. When you guys are ready, you can perform your buddy checks, and we'll just be listening to what you're saying, and if you miss anything, I'll let you know.
All right, Chris.
Let me just get into a better orientation.
Hey, can you just bring your head down a little bit?
Yep, working on it.
Okay, I see a green light on your HECA.
Copy.
Lights are not on yet, neither are mine.
Copy.
I see 3, 1, 2, can you roll? Okay, I got it actually, 1, 2, 3 tabs up.
Copy.
And actually your left safer handle is up.
Copy, left handle is up. Working on it. Okay, I think that might have done it.
All right, turn, roll toward me a little bit. Yes, but down now, and I can see that the right side is also down.
Copy that.
I see you've got the bag on your DRT, and you've got a good tether config.
Copy all. All right, and I am, look at you. I see your HECA light is on. I see your helmet lights are off. Just get a little more stable here. Okay, I see you've got 1, 2, if you can go on your left, 3 taps. The left safer handle down, and I see right safer handle down. I see you've got the strut bag on your left. All your tethers look to be in good order. And I've got a nominal hat and I'm a glove inspection.
Hey, and I didn't give you my hat or gloves yet either. My hat is dry and nominal gloves.
Okay.
Don't forget buddy check.
You guys got them all, and I copy dry hats and good gloves for all. And Chris, just before I get you guys on your way with translation adaptation, just wanted to give you a heads up, Chris, that we are not getting any biomed data, but we are getting good suit data, which indicates there might be a physical connection with the electrodes that is compromised. So, but we are good to continue with the EVA. Just wanted to let you know that about our insight into your biomed.
Okay, copy that. I'll let you know I'm feeling great.
Well, that's exactly what we want to hear, so keep it up. Okay, with that, you can perform translation adaptation as required.
Copy that.
NASA astronauts Jessica Meir and Chris Williams did just complete what is called buddy checks, where they essentially take a look at each other's spacesuits, tethers, and tools, ensuring everything is configured and looking as expected. This will occur throughout today's spacewalk. You also heard a HAP, or Helmet Absorption Pad, check. This is a safety device developed by NASA to address the possible risk of water inside the helmets. Both reported dry HAPs, which is what is expected at this time. So now Meir and Williams will begin to translate or move over to their first work site of today's spacewalk. We're now 22 minutes into the first spacewalk outside the International Space Station of 2026.
Okay, I'm feeling good.
Feel good?
Yep.
All right, TC, I think with that, I am ready to start translating up the Theta Spur.
Oh.
And Chris can continue his translation adaptation when he goes to EFT2.
Okay, that sounds like a great plan. Just to let you know, we are coming up on a bit of a handover in about 3.5 minutes, so let me get you guys started. You are going to translate out first. Jessica, you're going to head up on the forward face and head out port. And your green hook location is nadir of the P1 FHRC. When you are past the MT, just give me a holler.
I know I'll be looking for 3651, the meter handrail.
Oh, look at you, remembering your numbers and all that. For you, Chris, you're going to translate to ESP2 with 3. I think you know where that is. You'll be following Jessica. And I have a number of cautions, three cautions to read that will apply when you once you start on the forward face. So let me get those out while you guys are translating. The first is to avoid contact with the deployed tusk cables on the nadir and zenith feeder rails. Those will be the big white tape things you see going along the face of the truss. Avoid contact with radiators and flex hoses. This is more for when you are actually on P4. And then do not translate on the 2 alpha PVR base handrail. Again, that's when you're at P4. And Chris, I'll try to give you another reminder when you're close to that area.
EV1 copies.
EV2 copies all.
All right. And with that, happy translating, and we are about 2 minutes from a handover.
EV1 copies.
EV2 copies.
All right, Chris, I'm going up the Cedar Spur. I'm going to go nice and slow with this bag.
Copy that. I'm going to get up to the toolboxes and make my reach over to ESP2.
And both Williams and Mir now working on translating or moving to their next area of the International Space Station. And Williams is working to grab the worksite interface extension, or WIFIX. It's a tool that are used by astronauts during spacewalks to extend the capability of their workstation foot restraints. In a short time, Williams will work to get inside of the APFR, or Articulating Portable Foot Restraint, and this WIFIX tool will help give him a better reach as Mir and Williams work to install the mod kit this morning.
Chris and Jessica, just want to let you know I'm back with you, and we see views through your HECA.
EV1 copies.
EV2 copies.
And this view from NASA astronaut Chris Williams' viewpoint as he works to get the cable bag stowed. The cable bag will be utilized later during today's spacewalk, but is not needed at the moment, so he's going to stow it temporarily.
Okay, I have the bag ready to the WIFX and the WIFX removed. Working on bundling.
All right, Chris, way to go. When you're ready, you can start translating to your green hook location, following Jessica.
And you can see that WIFX or worksite interface extension in Chris Williams' hand there. It's going to bundle it to the cable bag to make it a little easier to bring over to the worksite. As a reminder, today the first procedures that the crew members will be working on are to finish out the mod kit build for the 2A power channel. A portion of this modification kit is already built and installed outside the International Space Station and was completed on May 1st, 2025 by NASA astronauts Anne McClain and Nicole Ayers.
Okay, I'm just past the MT. That was a bit interesting with the bag, and I am at the FHRC. So I'll get ready to do my green hook.
Copy, Jessica. Yeah, I saw you managing that big bag going under there. Good job. Hey, Chris, I see what you're doing. That's great. A great fix.
Yep.
And we're continuing to get views of NASA astronaut Chris Williams during his very first spacewalk of his career. He was working to bundle that WIFX to the cable bag, essentially using a large wire tie to do so.
Okay, I've got my green hook on handrail 3651. It's closed, sliders locked.
Copy, Jessica.
I copy that, Jessica, and I've got the WIFX bundled on my VRT.
Okay, copy both of you. So, Jessica, you're heading out to the 2 Alpha IEA. Outboard to the Sarge. Prior to crossing that, verify for me your gauntlets are in place.
81 copy.
And as you just heard, NASA astronaut Jessica Meir is continuing to translate over to the 2A power truss.
EV2 is picking up my waist tether and beginning to translate back towards feeder spur.
Copy, Chris.
And this view of NASA astronaut Jessica Meir as she continues to translate.
Jessica's safety tether.
She does have the strut bag attached to her, and inside the strut bag are the mid struts and left lower strut that will be assembled and installed today. The strut bag is about 8 feet long and weighs over 300 pounds. Of course, in microgravity, it does not necessarily have weight, but it still has that mass associated with it.
B2's at the top, see the first.
Welcome to the forward phase. Jessica, verify for me your gauntlets are in place.
Okay, my gauntlets are down.
Okay. And then,
Affirm, gauntlets are in place.
all right, and you remember you're going nadir at Sarge to the keel side of the IEA.
Yep, copy. Copy, native.
And Chris, I'm watching you, but when you are past the MP, just let me know.
And we did just have a great view of NASA astronaut Jessica Meir as she continues her translation to the 2A truss of the International Space Station.
I'm on the bottom of the IES.
Copy that, Jessica. Those are the tuss reels, that white tape-looking thing there, Chris, under the handrail.
Yep,
Just pointing it out because
I see it.
we don't see.
Yep, and I will avoid contact.
Yeah.
So just trying to.
Of course you are.
Yeah.
Just pointing it out.
Yep, affirm. I'm just. Yeah, absolutely. I'm just trying to avoid Jessica's safety tether here. I'm just on the caught up on the part, and I'm just putting it inside of it.
Hey, I'm at the strut bag location, so I'm going to start working on that.
Copy, Jessica. Let me know if you want me to call out any handrails for you.
And I did put a poor man fairly at the end. It did actually come off, so we can see to get the strut back on if I need to put that fairly back in or not.
Okay. When you head back inboard, we'll address that.
And Jessica Meir is now going to work to stow that strut bag temporarily. Once Williams joins her in this location, they'll hand off the cable bag.
Okay, EZ2 is coming under the MT.
Copy, Chris. Nice work.
Okay, I've got the strut bag off my BRT.
And Jessica, that large, small adjustable that's at the corner of your strut bag. It goes to 5136.
Yep. Okay, copy. That is in work.
And if you're just joining us, we are now 40 minutes into today's spacewalk.
That is one of the...
Or is it the one that's right in front?
5142 is one of the handrails we have.
I see 5136.
Yeah, 5136 is where we expect that ret to go.
Okay, copy.
Okay, and Chris, we...
Got the large, small, and 51.
Chris, we see you outboard of the CETA cart. That was great translation you did there. We have a green hook location for you on Space 6 there. When you get to the FHRC, that's your landmark.
I'm just by the...
There you go. And you're looking...
Yep, I'm just at the FHRC.
All right, you're looking for the short handrail that is parallel to the truss. It's number 3652, 3652.
All right. I see it, and I'm at it, 3652.
TC, the next one is the other side of this outboard bag, going to the handrail above me. Above, yeah, which handrail is it going to?
And Jessica, we're expecting a large small to go to 5142. And I believe that's the short one that is facing the BGA.
Okay, copy. Having some lights on.
If I got my lights on.
Sorry, that snuck up on us.
Working my green hook.
And y'all can keep your lights on through the whole EVA if you don't want to have to manage that.
Yep, copy. These are a large small on 5142, but I see a small here. Actually, it's an integral. So I have the large small on 5136, and then there's a small on the edge on this integral to the bag. Is that the one that you mean for 5142?
Small on 5142. You got it, Jessica.
And I've got my green hook down on 3652, in a small handrail, and I am continuing outbound.
Copy, Chris. And as you head outboard to the Sarge, before you cross, check that your gauntlets are in place.
Copy, will go.
Okay, TC, I've got those two down. I'm going to go down to the inboard end.
Copy, Jessica. And while you're headed there, just verify for me that the handrail is towards the center of the IEA.
Affirm. It will be when it's cracked down.
Okay, copy. And we're about a minute and a half from a handover.
Okay, copy.
Copy.
And Mir and Williams are continuing to translate to the 2A power channel location for the work that will be done today.
My gauntlets are down.
Awesome. Thank you.
You did hear the call out that we are in an orbital nightfall, and of course you can see that on your screen here as well. The International Space Station does orbit the Earth every 90 minutes, which means the crew living and working aboard the space station sees a sunset and a sunrise every 45 minutes.
Okay, I see your safety cover in front of me, Jessica.
Okay.
I don't want to get stuck on this guy. Might take it with me and foreman it at the corner by you.
Okay.
Okay. Okay, foreman's fairly down for you.
Once Williams and Mir do reach the 2A power channel, they will begin worksite setup. We are in a brief handover between our satellites, but we'll get views and communications back with the crew here shortly. If you're just joining us, we are 46 minutes into today's spacewalk. It's the first outside the International Space Station this year and the 278th in support of space station maintenance, assembly, and upgrades. Today's spacewalk is the fourth for NASA astronaut Jessica Meir and the first for NASA astronaut Chris Williams. The main task for today is to prepare the 2A power channel for future installation of International Space Station roll-out solar arrays to provide additional power for the space station. Additionally, swabs will be taken outside of the space station and tested for possible microorganisms as part of an ongoing experiment.
Your poor safety cover keeps popping off and trying to snag me. I'm trying to figure out how to best manage that one.
Let me see if I pull it a little bit. Is that going to help you?
Let's see. Maybe you can try to do a little weave here. That might be a better option. Let's see.
Okay.
I've weaved it across here. It might stay now.
Okay, copy that.
All right, guys, we're back with you both in comm and video.
Okay, TC, I've got the inboard side on handrail 5126, so I've got 3 hooks down. Are we expecting 4, or is that a good config for the strut bag?
That's not just a good config, it's an excellent config. Got it all. And
thank you.
You're welcome. Make sure that the tape is toward the mass canister, which I'm assuming it is because you have all the right handrails.
Yes, it is.
Okay. All right. I'm excited. Let's see. You guys are going to work on passing the cable bag, handing that off to one another.
I will come down toward you, Chris.
Copy that. I've got the cable bag over here. Now I'm going to work on getting it secure.
I'm going to have to undo my weave here.
Let me know when you're ready for handrails, Jessica.
Okay, copy. Actually, I see them right in front of me. I think it's 5122 and 5117.
Close. I've got 5109 and 5117. I think 5109 is around the corner.
Okay, I see the one on that one. Okay, I see it. Chris is there now, so I will wait until he is gone before I get that one.
Okay.
So,
and
let's see, we're going to put it this way.
Yeah, the hinge is going to go toward the center.
All right, let me take my DRT off. I'll keep my DRT ret on. My DRT is disconnected.
Okay. I've got a hook down now, Chris.
You have a hook down?
I've got a hook on 5117.
Okay, I'm going to take my DRT ret off of the cable bag. DRT ret is off.
Any chance if you're right at that corner handrail, you can tack down the other edge of it?
I am, and I can. Let's see. What do we want?
Whatever that left corner is.
Yeah. Oh.
But yeah, anything on that side that's facing you.
Let's do it, or...
If you put it, well, if you can put it on the bottom one side, I think it would help you because it'll clobber the ORU less.
You're right. Do that.
And I'm right next to you. Yep. All right, I see it there. That's a good config. See, the cable bag is temp stowed, and I'm going to work on getting the WIFX.
Okay. And I'm going to work on heading back towards towards grabbing our APFR.
Okay, sounds good.
Okay, copy all, guys. Good work. And I copied, Jessica, you're going to work on the WIFX. I want to just throw out there that we have the GoPro set up that we'd like to have you do at some point, so I'll leave that up to your discretion when to set that up.
Yeah, I was thinking I would do... Sure thing. I was thinking I'd bring the WIFX over, and then my next move is to open up the strut bag anyway, so I thought that I would do it then.
Good plan.
Very happy to have that strut bag off of me.
I bet.
Yeah, I'm crossing back over the forge.
Copy, Chris.
TC, I've got one of my reps on the WIFX, so I'm going to release this with rep that's on the bag. I'm going to leave it on the bag. We're going to use that later for the lens cover.
And NASA astronaut Jessica Meir now working to unbundle the WIFX from the cable bag. As you see on your screen there, that WIFX is the worksite interface extension, which is used by astronauts during spacewalks to extend the capability of workstation foot restraints. So that will be utilized here shortly. Once she has that unbundled, she is going to work to install it.
Yeah, I've got the WIFX, and I'm going to translate over to its location.
Copy, Jessica. And yeah, you're going on the outboard edge near the keel pin.
Copy.
Meanwhile, NASA astronaut Chris Williams is translating to the port CETA cart to retrieve the articulating portable foot restraint, which will be utilized during today's spacewalk. The primary goal of today's spacewalk is to prepare the 2A power channel for future installation of International Space Station rollout solar arrays. And as part of this, Meir and Williams will work together to finish the installation of a mod kit that is partially installed following a spacewalk last year on May 1st, 2025 by NASA astronauts Anne McClain and Nicole Ayers.
So it looks like we actually stowed the cable bag upside down.
Oh, sorry.
It needs to be flipped 180. TC, would you suggest I do that now or go handle the WIFX and we'll come get this after? Basically,
the consensus here, Jessica, is to get that WIFX out of your hands into the WIF and then come back and fix up the bag.
Okay, sounds good. Like that plan.
Okay, EV2 is at the Cedar Carts APFR. I'm just going to work on removal.
Okay, man. Take your time. You guys are doing good.
I see WIF 25.
We're now 55 minutes into the 278th spacewalk in support of space station maintenance, assembly, and upgrades. This is the 4th spacewalk for NASA astronaut Jessica Meir and the 1st for NASA astronaut Chris Williams, who are our spacewalkers today. The primary task for today's spacewalk is to prepare the 2A power channel for future installation of International Space Station rollout solar arrays. Once installed, the arrays will provide additional power for the orbiting lab.
When you're ready for the clocking.
I think I got it. The clocking is going to be 6, correct?
That's correct.
Okay.
At this time, both Meir and Williams are working to install and set up their work areas, including tools that will be utilized during the build out of the mod kit today. This mod kit is partially built and in a good configuration outside the International Space Station, ready for Williams and Meir to finish up the build and installation, following a spacewalk last year on May 1st to partially build part of the modification kit.
You don't even need me, Jessica. You got it. Clocking is 6, golf.
Oh, we need you.
Maybe later, right?
We need you.
I'll hang out with
we
you.
Need you. Thank you. Okay, I see a of golf, and the 1 is already set, so don't need to change that.
All right, we copy. Good config for the WIFX. You can start the work relocating the EV3 PGT and torque wrench from the strut bag to the WIFX handrail.
Copy and work.
And you did hear some communications there from the ground here in Mission Control Houston. NASA astronaut Tracy Dyson is today's ground IV and will be communicating with NASA astronauts Jessica Meir and Chris Williams throughout today's spacewalk.
You're like a pro already. Okay, you're going to translate once you, again, cross the Sarge. Before you get there, check your gauntlets are in place.
Copy, Wilco.
And Dyson is a spacewalking pro herself, having logged 4 spacewalks outside the International Space Station in her career.
You guys ready for a confidence booster?
Yes, please.
Well, your consumables are looking good, and you guys are doing really good on the timeline.
Thank you.
Thank you, thank you.
Thank you.
And Williams is continuing to translate prior to installing the articulating portable foot restraint in that WIFX. Meanwhile, NASA astronaut Jessica Meir is working inside of the strut bag to relocate the PGT or pistol grip tool and the torque wrench. And you can see a view of that on your screen now.
And then I'm going to release the bag adjustable.
Gotcha. So you got, in other words, you have the adjustable on the WIFX handrail?
Negative the reps. I think it's supposed to be the free end of the rep that's on the adjustable.
Gotcha. Yes, I gotcha. That's a good config.
Okay. And I've released the other end from the bag.
Okay. It's almost like you're reading the procedures, Jessica. I love this. Okay. I'm going to have you...
So I think with that, I'll go back down to the strut bag. Oh, I was going to suggest I would go back down to the strut bag, deploy the GoPro, and then swap over that cable bag.
We're good with that?
And I am back at the Sarge. My gauntlets are...
Copy, Chris. Gauntlets down. And we will have you fair leading along the inboard radiator corner of IEA. I might be giving you that a little too soon.
Copy that. Inboard radiator corner of IEA.
And I see you. So in my head, we had the GoPro on the other end of the bag, but actually have it on the far end.
Copy.
I'll take a look at what I see.
Yeah, Jessica, we had it on the inboard, what would have been the inboard side. No, wait, yeah, inboard side.
Yeah. Yeah, I got it right here. Was actually going to be like go into a receptacle.
I think the nut was just going to go into like a whip.
Well, it won't go into a whiff. That's not the right size.
Yeah, no, Jessica, we anticipated the clamp of the end effector to go on a handrail of your choice.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense. But handrails that are down here, okay, maybe over here. I fear that it's going to be like just getting a lot of video of the bag itself, but it's okay. Not required. I'm going to turn it on. See a blinking red light are rolling. I'm waving to the camera, and I'm going to try to pan it over to Chris.
I'm still working on trying to get this bead fairly to stay. We still want to top off.
Yeah, that was what I was saying. Much different than the string ones. They tend to pop off. So
yeah.
If you really think it's going to keep popping off like that, you know, you can consider a rich man if you like.
Hey guys, for you, Jessica.
Copy that.
Sorry to interrupt. Jessica, we have some handrail suggestions for the GoPro, and they would be more on the inboard side of the IEA, around 5109, 5110, or 5115. And that'll give a nice big picture of what you guys are doing.
And those are the outboard ends, or you were breaking up a little bit at the start there?
Sorry,
at the outboard
no,
end?
the inboard side, over by the cable bag.
Inboard end. Okay.
And those handrails are 09, 10, and 17, ending in those numbers.
Okay, copy.
And for you, Chris.
So, and you think that
Go ahead.
You thinking to leave it on the bag, Rhett?
Well, negative. Once you have it connected, you can red it to the handrail that you're clamping to.
Okay, then I would have to take the ret from the bag. There's no other ret on it to do that.
Yeah, we concur. If there's not enough ret links to make it over there and then come back and release it, then you might need to use your workstation, your mini workstation ret. And Chris, I see you working on that fair lead. You know, we actually have a name for that, and it's called the middle class fair lead. I see you weaving it.
Middle class.
Yeah, well, I got to give Farouk credit for that one. He came up with it.
I like it. I've got it nicely hooked, I think, around this handrail by the end here. So I think that will hold pretty well.
Way to go.
I've actually put the lot on 5117. Near the corner here, next to the cable bag. And I think it could be a good spot to try.
We like it.
And I think I'm just going to leave the ret on it to the bag.
Okay, sounds good.
Not in the way of anything. Okay, and the cable bag actually flips itself around. So because it's only on 2 tethers, actually that works out. I can put a third one down here to keep it in the orientation we want.
Okay, and that stringing of the ret isn't going to preclude you from getting the bag turned around, you said?
Oh, negative. It's actually turned around now.
All right. That was a 2-for-1.
We're in a good config.
Okay, so you feel like you got the cable bag fixed and the GoPro set up?
I think so.
All right. When you are in a comfortable spot, I'd like to get from you a glove, hat, and gauntlet check.
Okay. Stand by 1.
And I've made it over to the WIF X, and I'm working on the APFR.
Okay, Chris, you were looking for a clocking of 12.
12.
So, Chris, so that you know when you come over here, the end effector, there is a ret that's going back to the bag, just for SA. It's running straight down the side, though, so it shouldn't be in our way.
Copy that.
I see you right there, so I'll pause here.
Sorry.
All right. Okay, TC, I will give you my checks. My gauntlet is down. My hat is dry. And you see a little bit of a couple black marks on my left pinky, the RTV, and a couple black marks on my index finger on my right hand, like near the tip. And otherwise, those look nominal.
And and NASA astronaut Jessica Meir did just complete a glove and HAP inspection. Meanwhile, Williams is continuing to install the APFR and the WIFIX. That articulating portable foot restraint will be utilized in the next steps as the crew works to build the mid strut.
And for you, Jessica, you can get yourself situated at the strut bag because your next steps are going to be to retrieve the right mid strut.
Copy, in work. And Chris, I'm just underneath your feet, so I'll give you a moment to get that APFR done before I come over to that corner.
Copy. I needed to put it in, but I didn't realize I didn't have clearance to rotate it with the Egress 8, so I gotta just adjust some things here.
No worries, take your time.
I'm just giving you guys a heads up. The sun will be coming up in about 5 minutes.
Sounds good, thank you.
Okay, I have the APFR installed in a clocking of 12.
Way to go. Give me those checks, if you will. The locking collar, pull, twist test.
Yep. Stand by for all of that. Okay, locking collar is black on black, and a good pull twist test.
Check that pitch knob for me. Make sure that it can be depressed.
Copy, in work.
And while you're there, you can set it to Papa Papa.
Pitch knob can be depressed and stand by in work. And we are at a pitch of Papa Papa. Pitch knob is up and can be depressed.
All right. And then the next setting is Charlie for the roll and 12 for the yaw.
See Charlie, go.
Okay, with that, I've got a few
I'm right behind your feet.
I got a few cautions to read. You guys, is this a good time for you?
Good for me.
Yep, I can listen.
All right. No sudden movements on the mass canister or the mod kit maintain less than 0.45 feet per second. That's about 3 seconds per foot on the BGA. The maximum lateral load on the BGA is about 40 pounds or a squat bar. Avoid cyclic loading and do not impart forces into the mod kit struts before they are fully installed.
Either one copies.
82 copies.
Okay, I see. And I think you said, Chris, you're working on ingressing the APFR, and you may want to...
Still getting the settings.
Say again?
I'm still working the yaw on it.
Sorry about that. I thought I heard you had them set.
No worries.
And I'm going to come a little bit further outboard, Chris.
Copy. Okay, I've got 12 Papa Papa Charlie 12 set on the APFR.
Okay, we got good settings on the APFR, and your next steps are to ingress, and we recommend locking the safety tether to relieve the retraction force.
Copy, and sounds like a good plan.
And NASA astronaut Chris Williams is now going to work to get situated in the articulating portable foot restraint.
Right mid strut. I'm gonna loosen the and leave it ready for the bag.
Good plan.
Meanwhile, Mir is retrieving the right mid struts from the strut bag. You can see this view on your screen there of Mir as she works to retrieve those struts. Once Williams and Mir are both situated, they will work together to install the right mid strut first. They'll be utilizing the PGT or pistol grip tool to install the strut into place. The PGT is sometimes referred to as the space drill and will be a key component and tool utilized during today's spacewalk. We're now 1 hour and 16 minutes into today's spacewalk, the 278th in support of space station maintenance, assembly, and upgrades.
Chris, I'm right off your right side.
I see you.
Let me know if I can help you at all.
All right, well, let me just get the finger stayed up. Try not to yaw it while I do. Gonna get my visor down.
And we have moved into an orbital sunrise.
Angle might be a little bit off on the GoPro. Might be looking towards the sun a little bit too much. Needs to come to the right a little. We can fix that later if you like.
Copy.
The International Space Station is currently flying 267 statute miles over the South Pacific Ocean.
Come to your left a little bit.
Yep, I'm working on stabilizing.
And in this view on your screen, you can see both NASA astronaut Jessica Meir on the top spacewalker there. She's wearing the spacesuit with the red stripes. And then on the lower portion of your screen is NASA astronaut Chris Williams. Williams is going to work to get into the articulating portable foot restraint, which you can see him doing there. He's going to lock his feet in, and he will remain in that placement to help him get in a good configuration to have good leverage to help install the right mid strut alongside NASA astronaut Jessica Meir.
Get my balance, right?
And this might help, Chris. We're not sure if you locked out your safety tether, but that retraction force is pretty strong and could be working against you.
Oh, yep, I did lock it out.
Okay.
I think you're in. If you can bring your feet forward a little bit more and get your heels down, you're right underneath the loop. And you can't get a bit too much to your heels too far to the left.
Trying to just deal with that. 23 foot. 60 y'all while I'm at it.
Okay, let me know if want me to help talk you on.
I think I just need to put one more go.
Your left foot's on top of the toe loop, so bring it down. Now you're underneath.
Dropping underneath.
Right foot's in. You should be able to lock your heel.
And as you can see on your screen there, Williams continuing to get in a good position to get locked into that articulating portable foot restraint.
Forward before you rotate. Very close.
You just sit back a little bit more.
An even better view here on our screen, Williams is in that unmarked spacesuit.
And I think you hit the roll pedal.
All right.
So I think overall, it just move a little bit more slowly, and it was okay. That was the yaw, and then you also hit the roll.
Yep, I see it. Yeah, at the end of on the whip, that says a little bit more bounce than I was expecting, so I'm trying to just work through that.
I think you just needed to get your foot a little bit further forward before you rotate your heel.
Copy all.
Okay, we definitely hit the pedals again, but if you want to keep trying, we can rotate them after you're in.
Copy.
There's your left coming underneath. Your right's underneath now. I think you need to come forward a little bit more with your toes. Now rotate your heel on your right side. That looks like it's very close to in if it's not in already. I think you're in.
I feel like I'm in. Hey, there we go.
Okay, so you're, I think both the yaw and roll might be off now, or at least the yaw.
Yep. I'm going to just take my right foot out and yaw myself over a little bit.
Okay, yeah, you can try to do that.
Okay, guys, we're about 45 seconds from the handover.
Copy.
Charlie 12 on the on the APFR. Roll and yaw.
Copy. I see Charlie, and he's adjusting the yaw now.
Feels about right?
That looks about right. Yep. Nice job. Okay. All right, great job.
And Williams is now in that articulating portable foot restraint.
We've got about 20 seconds
Okay, you feeling?
to a 20-second handover.
Okay, copy.
Take a breather, Chris, and when I come back, we'll check your access to those sections of the mounting bracket.
Copy. Copy all.
And if you're just joining us, we are approaching the 1 hour, 30 minute into today's spacewalk, the 278th in support of space station maintenance, assembly, and upgrade. We are currently in a brief handover period between our satellites, and the team here in Mission Control is being led by NASA Flight Director Deanna Trujillo. The primary task of today's spacewalk is to prepare the 2A power channel for future installation of International Space Station rollout solar arrays. Once installed, the arrays will provide additional power for the orbiting lab. Today's spacewalk is being conducted by NASA astronaut Jessica Meir. This is her 4th spacewalk of her career, as well as NASA astronaut Chris Williams, who is completing the 1st spacewalk of his career. So far, the duo has exited the Quest airlock and translated to the work site for today. Just before we had the handover period, we did see that Williams successfully was inside the articulating portable foot restraint, which was the milestone that needed to be completed before work began on installing the right mid-struts.
I think I'm in a good position. I think I'll be able to access the mounting bracket from here.
Excellent. Guys, I'm back with you. I think I heard you say, Chris, you think you can access the mounting bracket. Check the pit pin, grounding block, and the strut clevis.
I see the pin grounding block, and the strut clevis is a little bit forward, but I should be able to reach it, and I see the bearing in there.
Excellent. There's a great view through your helmet cam, too. We'll take a glove, hat, and gauntlet check when you're ready.
Copy. So for my gloves, I've got a little bit of braking RTV on my left fourth finger and a few little black smudges. And a small RTV flake on my right palm, but just RTV. Next glove looks phenomenal.
Okay, Chris, copy on your gloves. That's we're still good with those. What about hat and gauntlet?
Yep, and it's got a dry hat and gauntlet for down.
All right. Excellent, guys. So we are ready to install the right mid strut. So if, Jessica, you can work on transferring the right mid strut to Chris. Chris, you're going to receive the mid strut and ret to the handrail stanchion closest to the side pad.
Copy that.
Hey, Chris?
And we are seeing a view of NASA astronaut Jessica Meir getting that right mid-strut out of the strut bag. She's going to hand it over to Williams in that articulating portable foot restraint.
And by 1 second, and I'll be right back.
And TC, just letting you know, I'm fine with it for now, but I left the glove. I think that I have padding on the back of my hands because the gloves are too large in the width, and I think it's a little bit too thick. So it's pretty hard contact point on the outside of my, like on the back of my left hand. I'm okay with it for now, but it's, I'll keep watching it because it does kind of limit my motion of my left hand a little bit.
Okay, Jessica, we copy all your words on your left glove, the back of it, and we'll keep an eye on it.
And just a question, if I know we don't often adjust our palm bars when we're pressurized. If I were trying to relieve, like kind of loosen the palm bar, I'm assuming that should increase the diameter there, which might help it a little bit. Would I have a go to try that?
Checking.
And Chris, let me know when you're ready. We can start.
Okay, I'm ready.
Okay, here it comes.
Okay, I've got it.
Okay.
I've got positive control. I'm working my ret.
Copy.
And Meir now working to pass over that mid-strut.
I've got a ret on it. I can release this large.
Okay. I'll get a hand on it.
All right, it's coming down to you, large hook.
Okay. Okay, large hook's back to the bag.
Okay, I'm looking at your hands, Jessica, so it looks like, Chris, you have control of the mid-strut? right, great. Then, yes, Jessica, you can make your way over to the side pad location on the right side of the mast canister, and you'll BRT to the long handrail. And Chris, you can extend the mid-strut to full length and pin the side pad towards the mast canister.
Copy. Extending to full length and tending towards mast canister.
Okay, and Jessica, just with the question you have about your palm bar, we need to look into that, so it'll be probably a little bit before I can get back to you on it.
Okay, copy.
And you can see Chris Williams is now working to extend that right mid-strut to its full length. When it's inside the strut bag, it's in a condensed form. That strut bag is actually 8 feet long, but you can see here again he's working to extend that mid-strut out to its full length before they do install it on the mast canister.
I found the long handrail.
You can see NASA astronaut Jessica Meir across from Williams. She's in that spacesuit with the red stripes. She's going to work to get her pistol grip tool to install the side pad on the mast canister.
Okay, you see those connectors by your left?
Yes, I do.
Copy.
Okay, ready to receive the side pad.
Copy, there you are.
See the arrow is up.
Okay, Jessica, there's a warning I need to read to you that there's a pinch point between the side pad and the mast canister.
Copy.
And for you,
And my red is locked out.
Thank you.
Am I, Chris? I'm going to try to...
Yep.
So now that this right mid-strut is fully extended, Meir is going to work to install it using that side panel. She'll utilize the pistol grip tool to do that. We did just have a good view of it a moment ago, and we will get another here shortly. But she's going to line it up with those holes and use the pistol grip tool to safely secure it. And there you can see that view again.
different part of the county. Yes, ma'am.
Can you repeat again what is leaking from the
ethanol?
Ethanol and corn syrup?
There was another one that had corn syrup, but our concern is the ethanol with its hazardous.
Because it's hazardous.
Yes, ma'am.
And then you said that Rawson Road is now open, so that makes Rawson Road and 2nd Street as well?
I don't. Is 2nd Street open, Chief?
2nd Street is open. We are convoying cars through there. Excuse me. 2nd Street is open, but we have to take turns traveling cars through from one side to the other, so it's a little bit of a process, but it is open.
Current right now, everything is contained to where we are, and there are no hazards to the public currently.
What's the plan next? Are we what's going on next?
So currently, we're working to effectively mitigate and stop the leaks. And UP's representatives are on site with their crews, and they have mitigation crews on site as well. The priority now is to make sure that we stop the leaks, that we keep the public safe, and then UP will then take over to start to then take the rail cars and do their work efforts to open up railway at their pace.
This is a huge derailment. I mean, how long do you think that could take?
I do not know at this time, ma'am.
But a long time.
It could take several hours,
if not more.
Yes, ma'am.
I did mention some of the roads that are open. Any specific streets that are closed?
Any that are closed?
Yeah.
Just the rail crossings here from in Richmond are the ones that are closed currently.
And how many people kept updating on the closures or opening the roads?
So you can follow the Fort Bend County official sites as far as social media, as well as the City of Richmond sites as well that we're using that, as well as OEM Fort Bend County emergency management sites as well.
You know the amount of cars that were connected to this?
I do not have that exact number for you. All right. Thank you all very much.
When can we expect your next update?
We'll try to come back if we can assess how the assessments are coming back, how quickly they are. I'll update you in about 30 minutes to see if we can come back.
Thank you.
Miss Mary staff will be a point of contact as far as media relations.
Thank you, sir.
All right. Thank y'all.
So these are the people that
just heard from him moments ago. He did say that there are 2 tank cars that are leaking ethanol. It is flammable, but the leak is contained. So right now he's saying that there's no threat to the public. Aside from that, no injuries have been reported and there's no need for evacuation. They are asking for the public to avoid the area if possible. So he did say they received a call around 5:50 a.m. this morning regarding this derailment. He did ask them regarding that Amtrak crash that happened yesterday in Missouri City. He did ask them if the rails were connected. He did say that he couldn't answer that because he doesn't know what happened, but he did mention it is in Missouri City, so maybe the closures that we mentioned this morning, those streets have been open, but the streets that obviously are coming across on the rail lines, those streets will remain closed. They don't know how long this is going to take. You are talking about 23 rail cars here, so that is huge. That is major, you guys. So if you are in this area, just avoid this area. We are here in the station area, so again, you can see all the emergency responders are behind you, just exactly this area. So we'll, of course, we'll keep you updated on here and online as we get more information. We did hear from the Ocean County Fire Marshal. He does expect to give us another update later this morning, but of course, like I mentioned, we'll keep you updated. But here in Oregon County,
they're starting to get to work on that. So.
Okay. Cause, yeah, because I'll make sure to say, I probably won't say at the top, but I'll make sure to say this. I asked him if there's any connection with the crash that happened yesterday, and he said he can't answer that. But that accident was an Amtrak versus an 18-wheeler, and that happened in Missouri City. You know, it's completely different. So I'll mention that. Are we coming after this race, Maddie? Oh, okay, okay. Okay, let me see if I can see that drone footage real quick. They are doing your drone footage first. Not during my live shot, right? Okay, but what is she saying over the drone footage? I just don't want it to be repetitive, you know? Yeah, okay. ¿Y si podemos usar, si nos dejan usar ese drone footage?
11.
Oh, okay, cool. Oh yeah. So officials did say they're gonna start moving some of these rail cars. Okay. Union Pacific officials. Okay. That report was so bad. More of a view of what's going on right now. So we did hear from Union Pacific officials saying they're going to start removing some of these rail cars out of the way for in the next few minutes. So it's going to get a little bit loud. They did mention that, but overall, I mean, like you mentioned, this happened around 5:45 this morning after they received the call. This is along the Richmond-Rosenberg city limits, and emergencies will not come together. The first one to receive Richmond and Rosenberg Fire Departments, EMS, and hazardous security. They're all here alongside the Union Pacific, as I just mentioned. So we did hear from the 4th County Fire Marshal. We did say that 10 cars are using ethanol. It is flammable, but it is contained, and there's no threat to the public. No injuries have been reported. We just saw that video of the they are expected to give us another update around 10:30, 10:45, so we'll of course keep you updated. Ron?